but today we're going to be talking 49ers and the top stories that we need to talk about with the Niners because there's a lot, anywhere from injuries to the drama with Mullins and Jimmy Garoppolo. We honestly can't really, you don't really know at this point. Um, a lot of people are saying Jimmy Garoppolo is losing his job to Nick Mullins, and I think it's kind of a comical thing. I think Nick Mullins is a smarter guy than Jimmy Garoppolo, but I think also at the same time, Jimmy Garoppolo will always earn his spot back just because he has a better arm, he has better athletic abilities. Just about anything with Jimmy Garoppolo is better physically. I think Mullins has a better understanding for the game, understanding for the system that Kyle Shanahan is putting together. Also, I think Jimmy Garoppolo he looked better towards the end of that Jets game, and Mullins looked great. He had 343 yards. He was slinging out there. He had a touchdown, no interceptions, 108 quarterback rating. I mean, that's great. That's starter numbers for sure. That's definitely starter numbers. But at the same time, Jimmy Garoppolo was putting up 3-4 touchdowns, two plus touchdowns a game last year, except for in the playoffs because Kyle Shanahan didn't trust him enough. But you can really see Jimmy Garoppolo's smarts aren't as much there, but Nick Mullins' feel for the game is definitely better than Jimmy Garoppolo. Another big thing, my prediction is a lot of people are saying play Nick Mullins, and I agree. In this week and maybe next week as well, give Jimmy Garoppolo a chance to rest and give him. You got to give him a chance to rest. If we lose him on an ACL, we're not for sure. We've only seen one game of Nick Mullins, and we don't know for sure if he's going to be our guy. We know that Jimmy Garoppolo has what it takes to not hurt us and get us to the Super Bowl because he did it last year. We don't know if he has what it takes to win us a Super Bowl, but we know he can get us there. So I think he definitely has more games played than Nick Mullins. I think that it is a good call to sit out Jimmy Garoppolo, put in Mullins for the next 2 games, and I think we really see an improved Jimmy Garoppolo. I think that Jimmy Garoppolo will learn a lot from this. I think he can, if he gets more confidence in his leg, he's really lacked a confidence to throw off his back leg. He's been very, what's a word for it? I guess he's just been very nervous. He's just jumpy back there. He doesn't look right. I think that it's a good time for Jimmy Garoppolo to focus on his footwork, to really look at film and see what he can do. I think these next 2 games are perfect because we're not playing good teams. We're playing an 0-3, I believe, Philadelphia Eagles squad. Miami Dolphins aren't anything special unless Fitz magic comes out and goes crazy. I don't see it happening, but it very well could. I say keep in Nick Mullins for the time being. At the very most, the Miami Dolphins game. He's playing great. Nick Mullins played great. I think that he can play great against the Eagles. I think he can play great against the Dolphins. We're gonna get into this next, but We're going to have some pieces coming back week by week. We might have Kittle back. We might even have Debo. We're going to get into that. We'll see. He, uh, I mean, the more weapons is the better. Brandon Ayuk was already back, and you can definitely see his presence because, I mean, Brandon Ayuk went for, it was 30 rushing yards and 1 rushing touchdown, 70 passer yards, 0 touchdowns over the pass, but he almost had one, I believe, during that game. Brandon Ayuk looks amazing. He does. But on that note, we're going to be talking about that later. Another question people are asking, is Debo Samuel really back? Well, it seems like it. He posted, I think it was on his Instagram, he said something like, feels great to be back with my boys. Let's get to work. Something like that. We'll see. Honestly, it's up to Kyle Shanahan and how confident he feels in Debo Samuel's health. Debo has also said he would play week 1. That didn't happen. We'll see, but I wouldn't count on it. If he does come back, I see us making a good push to win this Eagles game. The Eagles are better than the Giants, but they're still not good. I mean, they tied with. Sorry, they're not 0-3. I said earlier they're 0-2-1, I believe, and they lost to the Bengals or tied with the Bengals. I like the Bengals. Joe Burrow's great, and I think he's going to continue to be great, but he's not a. The Eagles should have won that. They have way more experience. They've been to a Super Bowl within the last few years. They got a head coach that can get the job done. I think Carson Wentz is on a hot seat. I don't think it should be the head coach. I think it's him. But either way, the Eagles don't seem like they're getting it together. They don't. They seem like they're crumbling and feeling that Super Bowl hangover 5 years in a row. I don't know. But my opinion on, I mean, if Debo comes back, I think we have a really good shot at winning this game against the Eagles. I really do. I really believe it. He will add that. We're going to do a lot more sweeps, I believe, and that's what we need. I think Ayuk would be great on the sweeps, but I think we need to focus on Ayuk being more of our. I mean, he needs to be our passer guy. He needs to be our guy that goes up and get it. He's got that big wingspan. I think he's taller than Debo Samuel. He looks like it at least. Debo Samuel will be. They're gonna be great this week, I believe. And if you match Debo, Brandon Ayuk, and Kittle together, it's gonna be unstoppable. Having a second-year Debo Samuel, assuming he doesn't have a sophomore slump, we should have and if we can stay healthy here on out, at least 90% healthy, we will make it back to the Super Bowl. But if we keep getting hurt, it's not looking good. It's not looking good. I have the injury list, and I'll get to that at the end, but man, it does not look good. But some high notes is Brandon Ayuk's performance. I was saying earlier he had 30 rushing yards, 1 rushing touchdown, and 70 passer yards, or receiving yards, sorry. He looked great. I mean, he was there as if Bourne wasn't open, it was Ayuk. If Ayuk wasn't open, it was Bourne. Ayuk and Bourne just went back and forth with Mullins, and Dwelly even was in the mix. Dwelly caught a couple passes. He looked like Kittle on one of them where he broke 2 tackles and, ended up getting like 8, 10 more yards or something like that. That punch out there with Kendrick Bourne, Debo Samuel, Kittle, you throw in Ross Dwelly for a couple mismatches. You throw in, we have so many people if we can just stay healthy. There's so many people we can throw in. And if we can continue to play well, if we continue to stay healthy. Sorry, um, we are gonna kill it, and the Niners will do great. But Ayuk staying healthy, Deebo Samuel staying healthy, whether or not they choose Jimmy Garoppolo or Nick Mullins to start at quarterback, they need to stay healthy. Our defense needs to stay at least a little bit healthy. I mean, Nick Bosa's already out with an ACL tear. Solomon Thomas, not like it matters that much, is out with an ACL tear. We did bring in some solid guys, Deion Jordan and Ezekiel Ansah. They looked great on Sunday. So did an off-season pickup in Kerry Hyder. He had a sack, I believe, on Sunday. And if we can keep those guys as long with people like Armstead, D Ford needs to get back. We need our linebackers and Dre Greenlaw. Quan Alexander needs to get off his butt because he thinks he owns the defense and he's the DC, but he's not. And I mean, if we can keep those guys healthy and keep going, we're money. But it's gonna start with the health, and we need that health. But we'll see how that goes. You never really know with that, and so that gets me off to my next topic with Jimmy Garoppolo, a part of the future. My father and I were talking about quarterbacks to look at in this year's draft. There's good talent. I don't like Trevor Lawrence. I think it's time to adjust to the new era. I don't see Kyle Shanahan making a bold move like this, but I think if we can get, I mean, it seems impossible to get someone like Justin Fields. But man, that kid he's something. He's gonna be special. He's gonna be a Kyler Murray. He's gonna be a Russell Wilson kind of guy. Like he's gonna be in that conversation of running quarterbacks that also are pocket quarterbacks that can sling that ball down the field. I think he's great. There's a guy named, I think, Trey Lance, and then Jamie Newman. Those were two other running quarterbacks I saw that looked great. I think it's more realistic to get someone like Jamie Newman or Trey Lance because they would be either second round, third round players. But do we move on from someone like Jimmy Garoppolo? Because even if you're, in your opinion, Nick Mullins is an upgrade from Jimmy Garoppolo slightly, that doesn't mean we're still in a good spot, because either way, Nick Mullins isn't going to be a franchise quarterback. Jimmy Garoppolo isn't. So what are we just going to stick with these people that are their ceiling is Matthew Stafford or Matt Ryan? I mean, what are we going to do with that? You know, I don't see. Matt Ryan blew a Super Bowl, so did Jimmy Garoppolo. Matthew Stafford barely even makes it to the playoffs ever. I mean, he never really has good teams, but are we going to stick with people like another Matthew Stafford or Matt Ryan or people that just can't get over the hump of being a superstar? You know, if we're going to stick with that, then I wouldn't be reassured as a Niner fan. But we need to make a move in this year's draft, I believe, for sure. And, you know, maybe Jimmy Garoppolo looks amazing in these next few games that he plays whenever he gets healthy. We'll see. But I don't believe that he is our quarterback of the future. I think he is, once his contract's over, a year before his contract's up, I think we make a move at quarterback. But we'll see if Jimmy Garoppolo's future is, you know, it seems like his future's in the balance. So we'll see in due time. My two best performers on offense for this week was Nick Mullins and Brandon Ayuk. They totally, and I would even throw in Kendrick Bourne. I was talking about it earlier. Mullins had the almost 50 yards, 1 passing touchdown, 109 quarterback rating, which that is great. I mean, that runs top of the league if he kept it going. You also see Russell Wilson through week 4 having 139 quarterback rating, but he's Russell Wilson. And that's what I'm saying is Mullins did great, but that's not franchise level. Brandon Ayuk, he looks special. He looks like, I mean, in my opinion, he reminds me a lot of a young, maybe Julio Jones almost. I think Julio, they almost have the same hairstyle coming in as rookies. I mean, it's weird. I think Ayuk is going to be great if he stays healthy. I think Deebo Samuel I think Ayuk will end up being the number 1 receiver, Deebo being the 2nd receiver, but close to 1st all the time. But yeah, Ayuk was my 2nd best performer on offense with 30 rushing yards, 1 rushing touchdown, 70 passing yards, and 0 receiving touchdowns. On defense, my number 1 guy seems like it's every week, Fred Warner. I mean, he looks great every week. He had an interception this week. He's all over the field. Stats don't tell what he does. He's amazing. He's not like Quan Alexander having broken tackles on him. Like Quan Alexander, I don't know if he doesn't know how to wrap up properly and, hold on to the legs or something. But I mean, Fred Warner is in every play. He is every time of the week. He is going to wow you. He's all over the field, always in a tackle. Whether or not he gets the main part of the tackle, he's going to be a part of it. He's going to make sure the guy goes down, whatever it is, and he will always be a threat to quarterbacks. He's a very good quarterback eye reader. He seems like he gets 1-2 interceptions a year, almost. Let's see. Also, another defense player I wanted to mention was Javon Kinlaw. He had a pass defended on Daniel Jones, and he looks to be improving every week. He really does. He looks like he's going to be more of a. The Niners pretty much filled DeForest Buckner's spot, I think, for future-wise. I don't think this year. I think we're missing Buckner this year for sure. But, he definitely looks like he could be a future Buckner almost. He's in almost every play. Seems like he can't seem to finish a sack or get a sack exactly, but he seems like he's going to get it together. He's very athletic looking. I mean, he's running around the field very athletic-like, which I love because we have to deal with people like Russell Wilson, Kyler Murray now. I mean, our division is made up of 2 of the 4 running quarterbacks in the league. So that's scary to have defensive linemen to help us out really reassures me that are athletic. We got Nick Bosa, who's super athletic. Javon Kinlaw now. Eric Armstead seems like he can get on Russell Wilson every once in a while. We don't seem like we got too many slow guys going in on defense, on our defensive line. And I did want to mention Javon Kinlaw because he looks like he is going to be great later in this year because every game he seems like he's improving, getting 1 more tackle, getting 1 more big play that will change the tide of an entire game. But yeah, I did want to mention him. This part of this whole stream is probably going to be the most depressing. Injuries are terrible. There's so many of them. There's like a full page almost of injuries, and it's ridiculous. Number 1, starting quarterback Jimmy Garoppolo with his ankle. Can you get out, please? Thank you.
Are you streaming?
Yes.
Well, I made the thing that you asked me to make.
I appreciate it.
Give my $10.
I will give you your $10. That's my brother, by the way. He made a intro for me for the YouTube channel, which I will be putting up soon, and I will be posting clips from this stream that you're watching, if you're watching, and those will be going directly to the YouTube channel. I wanted to thank you guys for watching. To all the people that are watching live and all the people that end up watching the replay, thank you for watching. Make sure to check out the Twitter. This channel that I'm currently on, or this stream that I'm currently doing, is a pull off of Purely Sports that me and my best friend are doing. You can follow us on YouTube, Purely Sports, Twitter, Purely Sports. And on Periscope, make sure to follow us on Purely Sports with a Z, so Purely_Sports with a Z instead of an S. Sadly, someone took Purely Sports with an S. But yes, this is a branch off of Purely Sports. This is going to be Purely Zach. My best friend will most likely be doing Purely CJ because he's a Seahawks fan, so he'll be covering that. But I wanted to thank you guys for watching. We're still going to keep going, but I just wanted to thank you guys quickly for watching. But yeah, make sure to follow us on that, and thank you for watching. Let's keep going. Injuries. So yeah, depressing part. I forgot. Jimmy Garoppolo, most likely he could return, could not. We'll see if Kyle Shanahan's confident enough in Nick Mullins, but he's out with an ankle injury, upper ankle. This guy, I don't know how to pronounce his name, but Mark Nushka, I don't know, quadriceps. He came out this game, should be out for 2 weeks maybe. I don't know. We'll see. Quan Williams. I kind of forgot about this guy. He's got a hip injury. That's another one. Akella Witherspoon, doesn't seem like we need him. Our cornerbacks actually showed out this weekend, but Akella Witherspoon is out with a hamstring injury. Mostert, as you probably most likely know, is out with a knee/MCL sprain. Kittle out with a knee injury /MCL sprain. Greenlaw, which we are definitely seeing him missing out there with Quan Alexander taking it. I mean, there's so many missed tackles by Quan Alexander, and we definitely need Dre Greenlaw back there. And sadly, he's out with quadriceps injury. And then Jordan Reed, sadly, I felt so bad for the guy, but he came back. He had an ankle injury, came back, got a knee injury. So he pushed through and did not get rewarded for it, sadly. But he'll be out, I think it said 6 to 8 weeks. But, I mean, thinking about it, you think Jordan Reed, who's playing great, George Kittle, Deebo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk, once we get those guys back later in the season, it's going to be, if those guys can stay healthy, it's going to be great. It's going to be great. I am excited, and all you Niner fans should definitely be excited too. D Ford, this dude is a wimp. I mean, he should be back by now. This dude just wanted to get paid and sit out for the entire season, it seems like. Seems like he just doesn't care to play. Seems like another, like, an quarterback weighs Andy Dalton or, I mean, Joe Flacco. Seems like they want to play good, get paid, then suck. So, but he's out with a back injury. Emmanuel Mosley's out with a concussion. I'm thinking he'll be back probably this week. Deebo Samuel, like we talked about, foot injury. Seems like he might be back this week. I'm banking on the week after this week, but we'll see if the coaching, or if Shanahan lets him in. Jerick McKinnon, rib injury. Seems like I think it's probably more of a sore ribs. I don't think he broke any ribs, so he should be back as well next week. Tevin Coleman, knee injury. I don't know this. I can't remember the severity of that injury, but I don't remember seeing he was out for the year. I think he may be back during the year. Correct me if I'm wrong. Solomon Thomas, obviously out with a knee ACL injury. And Nick Bosa, sadly, as well, with the season-ending injury. But that is our list. I mean, if you look through it, and I mean, those are all the players you would mention that are amazing on the team. And they're almost all out. I mean, we got Brandon Ayuk and Fred Warner. And, I mean, who? Who else? Not Quan Alexander. What? Eric Armstead? I mean, Eric Armstead's probably the only one left. Quan Alexander is not a star. I mean, he seems like he's getting more average and averaged by every game. He misses so many tackles, but you know, he hypes up the team and he has red hair, so he's a great player. No. No. But yeah, that's all our injuries, and I guess I'll leave it off at this. I guess I'll give you guys my before I go, I'll give you guys my score prediction for this week. I'm gonna just go ahead and say 49ers take this one, and I think they take it by 2 touchdowns. I think it's gonna be something like 28. No, 32 to, I don't know, 24. Let's say 24. So they take it by, what's that? Math. We take it by a touchdown. More like, I think it'll actually be more closer because it seems like the Eagles are way more experienced than the Giants, but you never know. We'll see. I think that the Eagles will give us a run for our money, especially since they have time to game plan for Nick Mullins. We'll see. But I think players like Deebo Samuel, Kittle coming back will definitely be what pushes us over, possibly, if they come back. But yeah, that's it for me, Purely Zach. Make sure to follow us on Purely Sports on YouTube, Purely Sports on Twitter, Purely Sports with a Z or Purely _ Sports with a Z on Periscope, and make sure to follow me on Periscope, Purely Zach, and I will talk to you guys later. It was great talking 49er football. If you guys have any suggestions for topics you'd like to hear, let me know. Go ahead and give me a message. I enjoyed this. I will be back probably quicker than next week. I'll probably be back way sooner than that. But I appreciate you guys listening. Have a good night.